Because we do things the right way. I don't abuse any of my girlfriends. You know, I am, as Jace, I'm talking about. You know, we are the rightful heirs. You know, we've been named by Viserys, and I don't, you know what? The crown is ours. We don't even need to explain ourselves. I don't know. Team Green should be the ones explaining themselves, not us.
Team Black is the best team. That's all there is to say.
I don't think I need to convince them. I think they'll make their own decisions. But look, there's been confusion within the realm. The confusion is that Rhaenyra thought she was going to be queen. Aegon was always going to be king eventually, and now we just need to pursue that. You know.
I think Team Green is sort of, it's like 6 tons of batshit crazy in a clown car, so I think you either are or you aren't. But there are like intellectual arguments for both sides, but I kind of think it's up to everyone else to make up their own minds.
Harry said some nasty things about the Green, so I don't know.
Did he?
I don't know.
I'll just punch him later when I see him.
I don't know. I think the audience will have to be the judge of that themselves. I sort of never went into it with like a Team Green or Team Black angle. You can sort of only see it from your own like myopic view, can't you? But yeah, this campaign is definitely more macro.
We're just way more rock and roll. You know, there's a lot of interesting, exciting aspects of conflict on our side this year. You know, season 1, it was very much this family that existed on this knife's edge, and all it was going to take was a push from either side to draw blood, and it was Aemon who drew first blood. He started the drama, and there's a lot of drama on the Green side this year that I think a lot of audience members will be invested in.
I think the appeals of the Green team is that they have a sense of humour. And I think the appeals of the Black team is that they spend more quality time with each other, and they have better hair. I do keep coming back to the hair, but it's just something, they look like they get more sunlight or something.
I'm not interested. This isn't a game of soccer, you know. It's nuanced. All these people, if you look at it from the century we're living in, all of them are psychopaths and war criminals. So part of the pleasure, I guess, we take as audiences is seeing how they die, you know, how they come to an end. And also, you know, we watch hoping for windows of empathy, because ultimately the monsters we're watching on TV are us, you know. So I think the show is very much more nuanced and deserves more than just a binary description.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one with Helena, because I don't know if she feels like she wants to be useful in this war. I don't think that's what she's interested in at all. But I think that what she does have is a huge lot of humanity, which maybe can be lacking in trying times. And yeah, she doesn't want to be in the war. She doesn't want to be in the war.
Well, she's the most experienced dragon rider of them all. And she's also got the coolest head, the cleverest mind, and the strongest spirit of them all, which I think is pretty much what she needs.
Otto's a chess player. Otto thinks he's able to predict the moves of his enemies even before they've had the idea. But in this season, maybe chess isn't the game you need to be playing.
I don't know. I do really enjoy working with the sword, just because it's quite cool, isn't it? I think I was told off a couple of times on set for just swinging it about, which is probably quite a bad idea for health and safety reasons. But yeah, I act younger than my age on set because of how cool the sets actually are.
Aegon has the biggest dragon in the realm, He also has quite a considerable army and a lot of support. He doesn't have the naval fleet as the black team have, but that could possibly change. Yeah, I'm confident. I am confident in Aegon's ability to rally the troops eventually. Maybe not immediately. He's learning. He's finding his way. But people underestimate him. He's an underdog, and I think he is a formidable force somewhere in him.
I think his mind, he pays attention. He pays attention to what the whispers on the street are, to what the people are saying, and to what people are really, the thoughts behind people's actions.
Ever since he was a kid, he was training in the Red Keep with Sir Criston Cole. He was studying with the Meisters. You know, he possesses the largest, oldest, baddest dragon in the known world in Vhagar, the hardened survivor of over 100 battles, named after the old Valyrian god of war. You know, she's still alive for a reason. You know, June 16, she will teach you why.
I think she knows Rhaenyra innately, so I think she's got that on her side, but she seems to be very much outnumbered by the men at the moment. So I do think she'll be ganged up on.
So my character's evolved a lot. We get to see a lot more of Jace this season, and you know, he's obviously going through grief. He wants revenge. He's angry. And he's going to push everybody out of his way to do that. And he's going to have these like horse blinkers on. And he ain't going to listen to anybody. And I feel like, you know, sometimes he makes too many rational decisions. But this year we get to see a whole new, completely different side to Jace, which I have loved playing.
At the beginning, you see him sort of step into the shoes of the king and be kind of take it in his stride. He's got a bit of a spring in his step. He's walking taller, you know, he's wearing it a little bit more. And we see that we see that fall from grace. You know, he's like I said, he's working it out. It's like work experience, and he's got people around him who are trying to help him. Whether he listens to them or not is a different matter altogether. But yeah.
Well, the show's involved a lot because it's bigger and it's more diverse. It's more epic in scale, and she has evolved. Well, you know, in the first season, she was very much, you know, they were all at court and they were dealing with politics in peacetime and domestic. And now the scale has completely been blown apart and they're on the brink of war. And so she is in her battle mode, and she's a warrior. And that's a big change.
Well, I think Larys is having to work a lot harder this season. You see the landscape of the world through the war is constantly shifting, the board is changing, and you see him having to adapt and improvise alongside that. So you get to see what he's made of, really.
In a phenomenal first season, a show full of morally compromised, grey characters, I wanted to present a character who at that point in his life, in those last 3 episodes, a character who was just complete darkness. You know, his appearance lends to that. So I wanted to lean into it as much as possible, only to contradict the audience at the end of the season when you see that look of regret on Aemon's face. He made a mistake, and he knows that. There's no going back. And so going into season 2, you are going to see more shades to Aemon. You're going to see a different side, a shadow side. He's not just that one-dimensional black hat sort of villain character. And I can't wait for people to see it.
I think the show's definitely more dramatic. It's bigger, if that can be possible. You see much more of the world of Game of Thrones now, and I think Alicent is sort of going through a second puberty in this season.
I think a lot more.
I mean, with this show, we take every aspect to an 11. It's every department on our crew really upped their game. You know, from Amanda Knight, our hair and makeup designer, to Caroline McCall, our costume designer. You know, their work combined really does encourage you to abandon who they are, and they that's the phenomenal thing about HBO, is that they employ some of the best people in their fields, and yeah, we give it everything we've got.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Well, yeah, no, it does get pretty brutal, to be honest. Yeah, without spoiling anything, it does get pretty savage, and people can look forward to that.
A lot, unfortunately. Yeah.
You know what? I can't give you an exact number, obviously, but go in there expecting a lot, and you'll be very, very happy.